The Coen brothers have shaped the imagination of a generation of film buffs, whose first point of reference for crime caper movies is their filmography. It's been 7 years since their last film as a duo, but it feels longer because of the gap left behind. While their solo ventures are also compelling, we miss the signature Coen brothers movies. However, Americana reminded of the Coens' work, and I felt satisfied knowing that we wouldn't just have to wait for a reunion for more movies of this sort. Americana's box office may be a disappointment, but for fans of the Coens, the film shouldn't be disappointing. It may not hold up to their standards, but it's reminiscent of their work. Despite the poor box office performance, Americana's Rotten Tomatoes audience score of 77% suggests that audiences loved the movie. Comparisons to Tarantino are inevitable, but it's tonally closer to the Coens' works. I have been enjoying both directors' solo movies too, so if films like Americana can keep their niche alive, we won't have to just wait for a reunion. Americana follows multiple characters simultaneously. There are 3 main storylines in Americana. The first follows Mandy, Halsey, and her son Cal, Gavin Maddox Bergman. The latter is convinced that he's the reincarnation of a Lakota leader, Sitting Bull. The former is trapped in an abusive relationship with Dylan, Eric Dane, who does dirty legwork for a black market dealer, Roy Lee Dean, Simon Rex. Penny Jo Poplin, Sydney Sweeney, is a waitress at a diner who wants to become a country music star in Nashville. She befriends military veteran Lefty Ledbetter, Paul Walter Hauser, and they hatch a plan to get her to Nashville. Meanwhile, Cal will later encounter a Native American militant group led by Ghost Eye, Zahn McClarnon, who will imprison him. The Native American group hears about the Lakota shirt that Dylan has stolen for Roy in the third storyline. The other major characters are Mandy's family members, who live in a secluded compound. Her father's a strict patriarch who dictates what the women of the house should do and wear. The film ends in a shootout in typical Western fashion. The many characters in Americana make its world feel lived in and authentic. The film is plot-driven, but it slows down for character moments to add interesting layers to the setting. The whimsical character designs especially remind me of the Coen brothers, as many of their films follow multiple characters with distinct quirks that often don't add to the overarching plot. Americana uses non-linear storytelling. The Americana release date delay was caused by an initial lack of interest in distribution followed by the bankruptcy of its production company. However, that doesn't detract from the film's ability to grab your attention. It's set in a distant world of criminals, dreamers, rebels, and survivors, whose story has the potential to keep winning over fans as time passes. Americana's charm lies in its tight but meandering storytelling. It doesn't follow the chronological order of events, instead choosing to present occurrences out of order to engage viewers the most by adopting personal perspectives of the characters. The use of character-driven writing to create a plot-driven narrative makes it entertaining to watch. The remarkable performances also add to the experience. Mandy has the most emotionally taxing arc in the story as she deals with her abusive boyfriend before returning to the oppressive cult-like place her father has created for her mother and sisters. Americana is a showcase for Halsey's acting skills, as she expertly carries the weight of her role while balancing the rebellious streak with the exhaustion Mandy feels. Sydney Sweeney also demonstrates her talents as an actress since she carries a stammer throughout the film with the consistency of someone who naturally has one. Gavin Maddox Bergman is a revelation as a child actor with potential. There's another similarity with the Coen brothers' work here, as their films also rely on their actors delivering compelling and memorable performances. The Coen brothers have made similarly light-hearted Western movies. Americana is exactly the kind of pulpy adventure that the Coen brothers are famous for. The film's funny, but it's also not ignorant of the difficulties of surviving in a land where everyone's so trigger-happy. Death is a natural consequence of existence in Americana's world, and the nonchalance, while disquieting, reminds one of the naturalistic tone of the Coens' works. With multiple endings, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs is the film closest in tone and structure to Americana. True Grit and No Country for Old Men, both westerns by the Coens, are more serious. Americana's ensemble cast, non-linear narrative, dry humor, quirky character designs, gradual plot development, and tonally varying set pieces helped satiate my thirst for a Coen brothers reunion. The Coen brothers will surely reunite sooner or later. The details about the Coen brothers' reunion for a horror movie aren't well known, and we don't have a timeline yet. However, both brothers have always insisted that this split is simply a break. Their solo ventures don't resemble each other much, and it's interesting to see how the two of them creatively differ while we wait for the reunion.